The ANC says it has spoken to all political parties that are interested in taking the country forward. A short while ago, party spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu briefed the media on the outcomes of its National Working Committee meeting. It says it has spoken to several political parties and that the door is open to anyone who wants to engage with the party. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko was attending the briefing and he joins us now. Samkele, a very good afternoon. So in essence, how far is the ANC in terms of its discussions with political parties? When are we likely to hear around the formation of a new coalition government?
What we know at this point in time is that the negotiations were held this week where the ANC spoke to the NFP, the IFP, the Patriotic Alliance, the DA and the Economic Freedom Fighters on the formation of a government of national unity. We do know that the DA has expressed its displeasures of having the EFF within the government. If there were to be a GNU that is formed at a national level, you'd remember that the Democratic Alliance had placed the EFF as enemy number one. But I'm going to bring in the ANC spokesperson on how they are going to deal with those particular conundrums. Spokesperson of the ANC, how are you going to deal with the conundrum where you form a government of national unity like you did in 1994, but you've got a partner in the DA that says we can't work with the EFF, they're enemy number one, they should be kept away from the public purse?
Well, I suspect that any negotiator, seasoned negotiator, would understand that there will be those people that are highly polarized and that you've got to work very hard to get those to have a meeting of minds, whoever they are. Of course, we are not pronouncing on the EFF or the DA today. We just wanted to update South Africans. But when a time, or if a time arises where conversations of that nature, the ANC has got a very strong history of negotiations. We were central to the CODESA process. We constituted the government of national unity. We worked with the National Party during that time. So we have collected a lot of experience, including international experience, considering the various envoys, the role of the president in various parts of the continent and in the world in managing a need to resolve conflict or potential conflict. So I'm sure all of that is going to come to count for the ANC.
But how do you go into a government of national unity when you know that the government of national unity in 1994 failed when FW de Klerk walked away?
Well, just because the National Party at the time walked away does not suggest that a government of national unity as a model, as a scenario, cannot work. There are examples galore all over the world where the electorate will punish parties such as what happened with the ANC and say, we want you to work with others, and where that has worked. And we believe that if we do this genuinely in the interest of national unity, we will be able to fast-track service delivery. We'll be able to resolve the stubborn challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality.
But then some of your own members are saying it would be a betrayal to the ANC's founding principles for you to go and work with the Democratic Alliance, where some are predicting that this would be the biggest ideological split in the party since the breakaway of the PAC, because all others have been factions that have essentially broken away.
Well, I wouldn't want to be preemptive. Samkele, on that, because that conversation around various options and various scenarios, various permutations are going to take place tomorrow at the National Executive Committee. So, it's not a foregone conclusion that we will work with the Democratic Alliance, and I do want to dispel that notion. I've seen it on the social media platforms and so on. It's not a foregone conclusion. The National Executive Committee is the final arbiter on matters, all of these matters, in the parties that we ought to work with.
Did some of the parties that you're negotiating with demand any ministries in the negotiations, like the PA wanting Home Affairs to implement their Mabahambe policies, or did the Economic Freedom Fighters come with their demand of the public purse, the finance, to be in the hands of the Economic Freedom Fighters through Floyd Shivambu?
Well, all of us, I suppose, have got interests. I mean, our interest is the African National Congress, is maintenance of our constitutional democracy, the rule of law, and so on. And I'm sure various parties have got their own particular interests, but it is, I think it will be uncouth to come and talk about the demands by various parties or suggestions by various parties in an environment where the talks are not concluded.
Is your president in it for the long haul, or will he pull the ultimate that he did during this time, as when he resigned as the Secretary General of the party and ultimately left and went into business?
Our president is going nowhere, first and foremost. There is no appetite for anything of that kind. He has shepherded this ship of the ANC and Team South Africa very well. Our president is going nowhere, and anyone that intimates a thought about we are willing to go into a coalition with you but get rid of President Cyril Ramaphosa can forget talking to us.
On the issues pertaining to the minister, or the former minister now, Zizi Godwa, he's resigned as the Minister of Sports and Recreation within the country. Is he going to continue being on the ANC list to Parliament?
The constitution of the ANC has a step-aside policy that is embedded within it, and the step-aside policy will kick in immediately in as far as Comrade Zizi Godwa is concerned.
Is he's still on the list to Parliament? Is he going to remain on the list? Will he be sworn in as a member of Parliament, or will he ultimately step aside also from being a public representative and being a member of Parliament, not just resigning as a member of the executive?
Well, I was just trying to be factual with you, but as you know, immediately, he's just been arrested and he has got to be processed internally. But as I say, step aside means stepping aside even from public roles.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri, who is the spokesperson of the ANC, essentially saying that they are negotiating with all political formations, so there is no decision to go with the EFF, the DA, or whichever party, but there is a proposal of a government of national unity on the table. But the DA has put it clear that they will not work with the economic freedom fighters in whatsoever way.
Right, thanks very much. My colleague there, Samkele Maseko.